Yo, it's your boy Viola, 25th Grace here. It's been about a year since I last made my first video, which I was planning to actually make more between then, but I wanted to get actual more topics of what actually people wanted to listen to. Recently, with Tower of God's confirmation for the anime TV series, along with Noblesse, I decided I was going to start getting back into what was going on. Normally, if you know my boy Naya, you can catch me on his Tower of God streams when we usually talk about everything that's going on from the chapters. But recently I was just told people wanted to know more about your boy Ghost. So I did some research and I'm going to start about Here We Can Find with Ghost here, considering we don't have much about him in the series. So far, what we know from Ghost is that he was prepared by Hidan to assist Rachel, according to Yuhan Sung. As far as what Ghost is, we don't actually know. There are comments about a irregular being inside of their team, but that comment is not known whether it's applied to him himself or Rachel. It's still a bit unclear. As far as we know, it can seem like it's both. In the recent chapters that we have, which would be season 3, chapter 9 and 12, it seems like he had about the same control of Shinsu as Bam, in which Bam as an irregular should be the only one able to control Shinsu like that, as far as we know. Back in the beginning when we first met him, I believe it was in chapter 26 or 25, where Ghost showed up inside of Rachel's team while Bam was still on the throne when they were playing the game. Later on, Ghost qualified as the first qualifier for the Spear Bearer competition, where he instantly hit the target off back after Rock himself failed, which is actually pretty funny. Rock walks up to him and asks him like, "Oh, who are you?" As if he didn't just miss his spear this entire time. Ghost has probably been one of the most mysterious characters in the series so far, considering he disappeared around the floor of Test, and we haven't seen him since. And last time we saw him, his position was Spear Bearer, but this time when he popped up against Bam, he was wielding Shinsu as if he was a wave controller. So, Ghost back on the floor of Test when Andraste apparently killed 297 other regulars within 30 minutes. I guess Rachel did nothing. Ghost's actual name is Anarcheon, Archeon, or Akaroon, which apparently stands for evil or malicious spirit in Korean, which is, I guess, why they call him Ghost. But so far up in the series, there's just so much we don't know about him. Where he comes from, we don't know. It's unclear whether or not Hidan prepared him, as in he was created by Hidan, or if Hidan summoned him to do the job for him. Because we know that people like Inaru are actually able to create living beings out of Shinsu itself. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that an administrator has done the same thing. Ghost so far seems to have a bit of a connection with Bam, as Bam said that he seems to have eyes like the demon within him. When he was fighting Bam during the most recent chapters in season 3, Ghost actually talked for the first time and said he's gotten much stronger, but he still would need to get stronger to defeat Jihad. Since he was prepared by Hidan, it's hard to say what strength he actually is. It's a bit weird seeing that he's in Fug, knowing that Hidan prepared him, which means that Hidan has to at least be a part of Fug or connected in some way. Um, I find it a bit funny considering that Hedon is an administrator and not a regular person. So it makes it a bit awkward to wonder why an administrator himself would be allowing and going against Jihad. Ghost actually took a face first blast of Bam's concentrated skill, Shinsu Water Dragon, which is a pretty by far large wide area AoE attack. Um, Ghost right now is probably one of the most interesting characters now that I think about it. I had a person who told me earlier that they thought his silhouette kind of reminded them of Phantominium, which was, I feel like it's a bit of a stretch, but Ghost by far taking Shinsu Water Dragon, which split him straight down, and being able to regenerate is probably a huge feat. As far as we know, we've never seen someone who just regenerated from a full-on face down, head to toe, split in half. So he doesn't seem like he has a normal physical body at that point, since he was healing using his Shinsu. I honestly feel like his name is Ghost. It makes more sense if he was some type of Shinsu being or Shinsu spirit that was made by Hedon. But this is all I really have on him, to be honest. There's not much more we can go off of. I mean, Ghost has only shown up in a total of probably like 5 chapters within the series. A little bit more if you stretch it. And he hasn't been mentioned outside of these chapters by itself. But I'm going to get back on making more content. Hopefully people can drop some things below about whether or not what they want to hear or what they need explained. This is as much as I could really find on Ghost, considering how much he's barely brought up within his series. But thanks for watching, and I'll be uploading more content soon.